So the game is out in the wild, I'm sure everyone is aware, which these days feels inevitable. With almost less than a week left, I'm sure we're all eager to get our hands on it. Now, if you're like me and haven't been spoiled too much, then you know how hard it's getting to resist them. I guess this video is more of a discussion on some of the hate that people feel for the game and why I think it's important to acknowledge the changes or lack thereof, and a few things that I want to see and maybe don't want to see from Tears of the Kingdom as a long-time Zelda fan. Addressing all of the negativity or doubts people have about Tears of the Kingdom. While people are afraid of how similar it will be to Breath of the Wild in terms of maps and things to find, I understand where people are coming from, and whether it's valid criticism or not, I'm not so sure. I mean, we haven't played the game yet, and I think, well, Breath of the Wild came out, 2017? I believe that's 6 years ago. I can't imagine that for 6 years Nintendo haven't been doing a substantial amount with Zelda. From what I've seen, and very light spoilers, is that there seems to be quite a vast amount of islands in the sky, and similarly there seems to be lots going on underground. And not only that, but from some of the early gameplay footage, there are sky islands with caves in them. To me, that seems quite promising, and something I'm looking forward to. And I think even after that, if you're not convinced, it's still worth trying out the game anyway, especially if you enjoyed Breath of the Wild. While it is a direct sequel, I think it will be quite a different experience. I understand from a price-wise decision because, well, in the UK it's selling for about £60, which I think roughly equates to $75 US, which is, yeah, quite steep. And it feels like Nintendo games rarely drop in price for some reason. So I think, especially if you love Zelda or are able to spare that amount, it's still worth giving it a go. Okay, so a few things I'm not particularly looking forward to is the Korok seeds. For me, I didn't really care too much about them after finding enough to comfortably play the game. I wasn't too fussed about finding them all, to be honest. It wasn't something I wanted to do. 900, by the way? Ugh, mad. But at the same time, I can understand bringing them back. I did wonder if introducing a leveling system similar to Elden Ring, but obviously not as complex, where after every level you get to upgrade your weapon slots. And that way it takes out the need to constantly search around. But the downsides to this is then it creates a more empty feeling when traversing the environment. And they are kind of already implemented into the game, so why not just bring them back? So some wants. Something I'd love to see in the game. I want the Ocarina back. Bring back some songs. These are the same timelines, right? So why not? Imagine having some places you can only get to in certain weather conditions or changing weather to day or night. I feel like this is perfect for an open world Zelda, or just jamming along with Cass. Another thing I would love is a few unbreakable weapons. I know this would defeat the purpose of the new mechanics, but I think it would be nice to have a weak spear or shield that acts as a base for combining things, so when the attachments initially break, you're not left with nothing. Just something small like that I think would be quite fun to have. There are a few things the more I think when making this video I would love to bring back, but realistically they just wouldn't work, like dungeon items or even masks, I would love to see them in the game, but honestly I think in terms of Tears of the Kingdom and the mechanics that already exist, it just doesn't seem viable as much as I'd love them. Maybe if they make a new Zelda game after this, they could incorporate these things, like why not an open world Majora's Mask? Count me in, mate. Okay, so from the trailers I'm going to predict bosses, which is a huge yes for me, but it's not just bosses I want them to be challenging. I want to die whilst battling them. I mean, when I played Skyward Sword, I don't think I even died once. I don't want it to be Dark Souls level of hard, but I definitely want a challenge that incorporates all of the game's mechanics. I think that's something I always missed from the older 3D Zelda games, was a challenging boss. The more I think about it, the most important thing for me would be a good story. That's all I'm really asking for. Give me some good cutscenes and some character building. I want to be engaged, I can give up small things like customization, items and things like that for something more engaging. Give me a solid side quest, something to make the game feel more real and fleshed out. I feel Zelda desperately needs something like that. I mean, it has small side quests, but not really. They don't feel like side quests, they feel more like fetch quests or something. There's plenty of things I wish could be in the game. I could probably go on for hours, but all I know is that I can't wait to play it. And with that, I hope you enjoyed my video. It's nothing big, just kind of thing that was on my mind. I will definitely keep trying to make Zelda content after the games come out. I would love to do more lore-based ones. So yeah, if you enjoyed, please feel free to like or leave a comment. Subscribe if you'd like, no pressure of course. And yeah, thank you.